taking me back. Okay.
67-year-old rancher.
All right, here we go. All right, today I want to talk about the loan on a home loan, like a mortgage, but I want to put it in consideration of like monthly costs, how much you should get paid per year to buy that home. This is something we didn't talk about yesterday. We've been talking about like the formula that actually calculates costs like a mortgage. We're going to review that today so you know it again because I only introed it yesterday for the first time. But you need to know like how much money you should make to actually probably get approved for that loan. Because there's a magic number again. Like with rent, you take what you make per month, divide by 4, right? That's what you do. To buy a home. So let's say you're gonna get that first home that you're looking at. Okay, you're gonna take out a mortgage. And they look at your credit score, and your credit score is good. You know, you have good credit with the bank. They trust you. You have a pretty good job. But what they're going to look at is how much money you make per year, and that's what's going to set off whether you can buy that home or not. So, is somebody in here? I think Bannister, you volunteered one yesterday, so you're good. I won't use yours today, but thank you. Somebody else have a different job with a different price. I think hers was like $15.50. Either one? Which one? What do you got?
I totally forgot it.
I'll come back. What do you got?
For mine, it's like, for a salary, it's like $32,000.
Okay, boom. All right, $32,000. Let's say that's pretty close to what Bannister had for the veterinary assistant. Okay. All right. Here's the magic number that the bank looks at for the house you should be able to get approved for like instantly, like without having any like wiggle room where you have to put like a huge down payment or to have like people's co-sign for you. Co-signing is meaning when you have somebody else come in, they check their credit and you add your both credits together because you're both going to pay for it. $32,000. Here's what you do: you multiply what you make for your annual salary. This is annual pay. So that's your annual, like yearly pay, your total year, and this is what they call the banker's rule. The banker's rule for how you get approved for a home loan is you take your annual salary and you multiply by 2.5. So when you take your price of whatever you make per year and you take it times 2.5, this is the price you're going to get guaranteed for a home loan. It is guaranteed. So 32,000 times 2.5, as long as you have good credit. When I multiply this, that's an $80,000 home. That's what it comes out on a calculator. Perfectly $80,000. You will be guaranteed instantly approved as long as your credit's okay. Like there's no doubt in their mind, it's a yes. That's just the banker's rule. It's this little number because they don't want you to overextend. Like a person that's making $32,000 a year shouldn't go out and buy $1 million home because you have to pay it back within so many years. So they're looking at what would the cost be per month realistically. Okay. Oh, good news! I have all 11 calculators back, so we can use calculators too. Yeah, got them back yesterday. My plan worked. That actually came back. So, all right, but $80,000. That's guaranteed. You're guaranteed. Now you can go a little bit past it. There's some wiggle room, but they're going to probably want to co-sign. They're going to want to look at a down payment to bring the cost back down because they're worried about not just what you're buying for the home. They're worried about what the end result's going to be when they do the mortgage because they're adding more because of all those interest rates, all the compounds that they're doing, and they have to worry about your monthly payment because once it's past the breaking point, you can't spend all of your money from your paycheck on the house. You still have to have a car, you still have to have food, so they're thinking about you before you actually take out your loan. Okay, now, Wheelan, did you figure out like what you want to do?
Yeah.
What's yours?
131,280.
Oh, okay, you got a big jump. All right, 131,000. What was it again?
$280.
$280?
Yeah.
Okay, can I ask what job that is?
Marketing management.
Okay, all right, nice. So, marketing management. So I guess this is the job that everyone should look at. We're going to advertise that one. What was your job that you're looking at?
Chef.
Chef. Oh, that's cool. Okay, I can get on that. I like food. All right. So, you see the big discrepancy there. An actuary, that's something that goes pretty high in math that works for companies for like tax reasons and stuff. They make about 130 grand a year. So that's about close. That's pretty good though, marketing. All right, now, for a marketing management spot, let's say you start at 131,280. You take it times 2.5. So, times 2.5, you actually get that job at that price, that's your salary. I'm looking at a $328,000 home. So now in this area, now you're looking at, you know, the court out here. You're looking at Clear Lake, maybe a house that's not on the lake, but really close to the lake. Yeah, that's some serious money. Or you're looking at a pretty big acreage if you're gonna live out in the country. That's some serious land. So, this is something that you gotta think about when you're starting to get a house for the first time, that, you know, what can you be approved for? Now, this is not what you're gonna pay in the total, right? That's not your end pay. This is just getting you approximately the things you should be able to afford a monthly payment for. That's what our rule of 2.5 is. Does that make sense? So that's what we have to start with, whatever your job is. So now that you know what your job is, now you can go take it times 2.5. Now this is the market of housing you can go look for online. Now in this area, we're very lucky in this area that we have a website, it's North Iowa Realty, where they take all the realtors that are accredited in this area. So like, we have Schoenemann's, we have Hall Realty, we have Clark's Realty, there's just tons of different ones. And they combined all of their listings into one website, and so you can see every house in the North Iowa area. We're extremely lucky that we have that. Somebody put that together for us. So you can go, you can look by prices, you can look by location, you can look by realtor, you can look by if they have photos, you can look at if it's an acreage or if it's like what style of home, ranch style, which is single level, split levels, like 2 levels, that type of thing. You can look at how many bedrooms. Like this website's incredible. It's North Iowa Realty. We're gonna look at it today. I'm gonna send out an email that will have the link in it. We're gonna look for a house today. Okay? But what you need to know today is you need to know what your job is today and what house you want to go get. So, because once you have your job set in your Google Doc, what you're going to get paid, I want to know your annual pay. So let's say, like Bannister yesterday said, she gets $15.50 an hour. So if that's the case, she's going to have to quickly find out what her annual salary is, times 40, times 50, to figure out her annual pay. Then she can do that banker's rule, where she takes it times 2.5. Where she takes times 2.5, whatever this number is. Okay, I think we did that only yesterday. So, because maybe that won't be realistic in this area. Like Clear Lake, you're not buying homes under 60 grand in Clear Lake. You can buy a lot in Clear Lake for 60 grand without a house on it. So, I mean, there's some lots here in Garner that are going for 80 grand just for the lot out in that court area that's out that way, out east or north of us. Okay? Yeah, so these are kind of expensive. So you got to be thinking about that. What I want you to do today, get your Google Doc pulled up, get your job typed into it, save it. You're going to save this, by the way. This is going to be a part of the thing you're going to submit to me today. You are going to be submitting this. So you got to have your name on the document. You got to have the job that you want to have some time, or the career you're thinking about going into. I want to know your annual pay. Your annual pay, so that's the pay you get paid. So if you get paid a certain amount of money per hour, you got to calculate what you're making per year. And then I want to know what the banker's rule is. What is the type of house you can purchase? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send you an email here in a minute that's going to have the link to this North Iowa Realty, and we're going to look for a house that's in your budget. And the budget is the one that the banker's rule gave you. Can you even find a home in Garner or Clear Lake or Ventura that you can purchase? And we're not going to go outside of that. I know we could go to like Britt or Belmont or Clemmy or Forest City. We're going to stay in these 3 town areas. So Clear Lake, Ventura, Garner. And we're going to see, can you even find a home that's in your price range? Because maybe you can't. Maybe we're going to have to go rental. Now, don't get me wrong. There's really nice houses in Clemmy. There's really nice houses in Belmont and Forest City. But I'm just going to stick to a smaller area today. But I'm going to send you a link here in a second. That's going to have the North Iowa Realty website. And we're going to use that today. I'm going to copy this, I'm going to send it to you, and then I'm going to explain. I'm going to pop it up here on the marker board, and we're going to go through it.
If we wanted to walk in a different state. We wanna walk in a different state, should we put that state?
Nope, you gotta be in Iowa, you gotta be in this area.
So we have to walk in this area.
It's gotta be in the Clear Lake, Garner, Ventura area. That's the only one, we're not going in, yep, we're looking for houses.
I mean, so that's what I'm saying.
Oh, your pay? Oh, the pay can be anywhere. I don't care where your job's at, I don't care, I just know, I need to know the annual pay, so we're gonna assume you can get that job in this area. Okay, I sent you a link, hopefully everyone got it. If you did not receive an email link from me in maybe the next minute, let me know. Okay. Okay, it should be there within the next minute or so. Okay, now you should be making a Google Doc that has your name on it, has the career or job that you're thinking about that you're interested in. It should have the pay, and then you've got to calculate annual if you haven't, because maybe sometimes they just give you the annual pay. You're making $30,000 a year or $131,000, but then you got to do the banker's roll, take it times 2.5 to figure out what your house you can search. Once you're there, stop. You don't need to use the link right now. I just need to have that Google Doc that has all of your numbers in it right now. Because I'm going to show you how to use this website here in a second. I'm going to pop it up on the board. Because the hardest part about what I'm about to show you is you can't use the website like effectively. It's tough if you can't see it. Okay, everyone should have received this link for me. It should take you here. If it doesn't, let me know. Hopefully everyone's that link. Yes.
This number is the banker's rule.
Yes. So that's the type of home you can get pre-approved for.
No, what is it gonna be like?
Just gonna sell the old Escort.
Okay.
So she burned up. Blows up.
All right. Is everyone good?
No.
Okay. I'm waiting. Make sure you make your Google Doc, because you are going to submit this to me today. You are going to submit this to me today so I can see what you're doing, what you're getting to.
No.
Okay. Hopefully, once you get to this website, we're good. Miss Linscomb, can you hit the lights for me, please?
Yeah,
Thank you.
I got it.
Thank you.
All
All right. Good.
Oh yeah, there is. There's a guy who paid. Oh, I'm at $7.5 million. Who's that? I don't know who they're at.
Okay. If you're not there yet, that's fine. I know a lot of you are kind of set up the Word or the Google Doc. You got to get all these numbers because I'm going to have you share it with me today. Once we're all done. I'm going to walk through how to use the website. So if you need to open up a new tab, you're going to use that link that I gave you in your email and go to this website and be on it right now. If you're not on the website, I'm going to be closing out your tabs. So just make sure that you're ready to go.
Somebody can show it.
Okay. Hey, I'm going to walk through this website. Hopefully everyone's made it there. Did anyone not receive the link? I'm going to assume you did. Okay. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to search for homes, and we can go to any location. Go to Garner, Ventura, Clear Lake. In fact, I may not limit you to where you want to go, but I want you to go within your price range right now, because that's the number we have in front of us. So for mine, just to give you my idea, I make, I think 45, I think on contract, but then I have a bunch of other things I do. 45, I take it times the banker's rule, I can be approved for a home of 112,000. So I can be between 100 and 150. Pre-approved instantly. Now would I do that? Probably not, but I can now search. I'm not even gonna type in any types of housing or style of housing or bedrooms, I don't care. I'm just going by price, and I don't even care the firm either, and I'm just gonna click search. Okay. Alright. Let's go back up. I wonder if it didn't do it. Price range. That's not it. Search. There we go. Alright. So, here's my search. This is what it's popped up. Now, I want to walk you through what you're looking at here. Okay. What you're looking at here, if the house has pictures, they're going to have this little picture icon off to the side. That's nice. It's nice to look on the inside. It's nothing like being in the home. So trust me, you want to take a tour of the home you're interested in, because the pictures will never show you the problem areas. They're going to avoid, if there's a big hole in the wall, they're going to avoid taking a picture of it. Or if the finished basement isn't done, they're not taking a picture of the basement. The next thing, they're going to show you the address. You need to use the address and the town to do a search on Google or whatever app you're using on your phone to figure out the location. Location makes a difference. Are you on the north side of Mason? You might not want to be. If you're in, the really far parts of the country where you're like 9 miles away from civilization, maybe you don't want to be there because during the winter you can't get out. Those are like little things you got to think of. Next, the agency does make a difference to me. I like to use certain real estate agents, ones that are very good at their job, they've been around a long time. Now, don't get me wrong, that's very one-sided, that's very one-minded. Some people need a break, you need to give like some other businesses a chance, but I have certain realtors that I like to use. They're stand-up people, they're really good at their job, they'll give me the deal I want. Okay? The next thing, you need to worry about the style of home. The style of home is ranch, means single story. Split level, which is like 1.5, kind of an idea, or a split foyer. That's where there's a little bit of stairs and maybe a bedroom or something up top of that, but everything else is on like one kind of level. 2-story is obviously you have a 2-story, you have upstairs where there's actual rooms versus a downstairs. And then you have to look at the bedrooms, the bathrooms. When it says 1.5, 1.75, like for bathrooms that doesn't make sense. It does if you actually look at what's in there. Like 1.5, maybe it's got a toilet and a sink, like a vanity, but no shower. If it's 1.75, maybe it has a stand-up shower, but no toilet. Maybe like it has a shower in the basement. So like those numbers really throw people off, like what these are for bathrooms, because that number tells you if it has certain facilities in the house. I can tell you right now, if you're going to be living with multiple people, you need multiple bathrooms. Nothing's worse than being in a really big home with one bathroom. Okay? All right, then you can look at your home. Right now, my assessed home, like I was pre-approved for anything from like 112,000. I can see that these are all mixed bag right now. Like if I look, they're not going in order. What they're doing is they're giving me all the houses by, I think it's by town in alphabetical order. No, it's not even by that. It's by the firm, it looks like. They've organized it by the real estate agents in order. I'm going to organize mine by the price. So I'm going to click on the word price to put them in order.
I think I know where that is.
So that way I can kind of see what kind of houses I'm looking at. And it looked like it put all of my houses, it looks like the lowest house I can get is about 90,000 now. On my market that I'm looking at, up to about 150, and they're climbing pretty slow. But you can see the towns. It doesn't look right now that anything below 108 is in Clear Lake or Ventura or Garner. I mean, Fertile is probably about as close as I can get. Britt. If I scroll down, maybe Wesley. Question?
No, I was just gonna say, I found a $1 building in Mason City, Iowa.
$1. It's probably they don't want to list the price. so you have to call. That's probably what it is.
It's just
Yeah,
$1.
if they say $1, it's probably like you have to call to figure out the price. They're trying to encourage people to call.
Oh, that is
Now, hey,
somewhere.
here's the thing. If you're looking at your real estate listings, you need to look over at how many beds and bathrooms and stuff are in there. Because if they have zeros or NAs, you're not actually buying a house, you're buying the lot that it sits on. So there's no house there, you have to build it yourself. That can be incredibly pricey, especially if like your budget is $80,000 and you search that, a lot of your housing you're looking at will be the lot and no house on it. So that's something you need to worry about. I'm pretty fortunate here that there's a lot of houses. There's only one lot, I can see it right now, Britt, 441 North Avenue, right here, this main avenue in Britt. That one has no style and no beds. It's got 2 baths, it's probably a building. It's probably not even a house, because it doesn't have any beds or bathrooms. So that's something you need to look at. So yeah, so some of these are like ag land depots, so it's probably like farmhouse kind of thing.
Mr. Ward.
Yeah,
My name isn't.
Yeah, she's only getting one house every single time.
what price range are you typing in?
All of them. I've put in all of them.
That's weird. Can I see it? There has to be something on it. Any style of house, but it's only appearing one?
Yeah.
Porch
Not all
right
of
in
them.
the backyard.
What's your price range? We got more, I just typed in
That's what,
50s.
I live on the map. I live on the map.
All I do is sit through. What? Yeah, I won't limit you right now. Alright, hey, I'm not gonna limit you where you wanna go right now, because right now it's all about the price. I want you to pick one of the homes that you think looks good, and that's the home I want you to write down in your Google Doc. So let's say you did a bunch of research, and you're like, hey, this one to me, this one looks good. I like that home a lot. I want you to type it out in your Google Doc right now. I want you to write down all the numbers you see right here. I want you to write this down, because I'm going to be checking what your house is. Make sure it's a house. Make sure you type it. You want to take a screenshot, take a screenshot of it. I don't care. But I want that picture of your home on your Google Doc right now. Because now we're about to calculate what that house is going to actually cost you. So I'm going to write down mine so I can show you. So this should be somewhere on your paper. Know what your annual pay is, what your banker's rule is. And I'm going to do this home. 318 21st Street, Southeast. It looks like I'm going to Mason City. It's Jane Fisher Realty. And it's 1.5 stories, 3 bed. It's got 1.5 or 1.25 baths, and it looks like it's 105,000. All right. Once you have your house picked out, I'm not limiting you to your areas anymore, because we just need to have a house. Because I'm worried about the situation that Destiny you're picking, where you picked like a location where it only gives you like one.
Because I need to write down.
You're writing down all the stuff you saw there. The line straight across.
Wait, you want us to top?
It was still bad.
In my document?
Yeah, put it in your doc that you're gonna send.
For my house, I did.
You're a nice house.
That's a cute house.
So we go back. Oh, okay. So. All right. Because all I really needed was this one, because I can research that later. Because all I have to do is type it in. It's pretty easy to type that stuff in. So I get your exact house that popped up.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Does everyone have their house?
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm waiting, because I know some people like to look through them. They like to.
I swear. Can I have a
Just pick one.
$459,000 house?
But
Can I have a $459,000 house?
I don't know. What's your job you're kind of looking at?
Railroad.
Oh, probably buy about 10 of them. Those engineers make some serious money.
98,000 a year.
Yeah, that's pretty good money. Around here, it's pretty good money.
I'm getting this one. Yes, tomorrow.
Brandon, did you do this? 50 times 2.5? your price,
What's that mean?
because that'll tell you what your budget is, what your pre-programming.
Yeah, you move the
You
lever.
go, stop.
And then you, sometimes if you want to break, somebody drives off.
Oh, this is.
Only-
I don't know this house.
I'd rather be
Okay,
a war.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, there's no air
Hey,
conditioning.
this is so cute. I love it.
88,000.
That shit is so cute.
Times
So-
2.5.
Yeah, that'll tell you what your budget is.
There's 5,000.
Yeah. Those are the big.
I love how.
So they're not showing the inside, but that does work nice home. It has good curb appeal. Yeah.
Dude, I have such a nice house.
It's got an acreage.
Yeah.
Where's that one?
Mason.
221,000.
It looks, it's got good curb appeal. So it looks good from the outside. The inside could be a train wreck. You never
Yeah, you
know.
never know.
Ward, I can put a loan out and I can buy an even nicer house.
Yeah. So,
There's two more.
I don't
Yes.
really like this house though, it's not old.
What do you think about this one?
that's pretty.
Like a house somewhere
That's a big
around
one.
it.
That way I
We
think
get
we're
a,
gonna have chickens.
It's actually cheap. Dude, where's that at?
you're gonna catch this one.
Not bad.
Ominous here.
Now you don't have to worry about like the location of town. Maybe there's like train track right behind the house.
No, that's fine, that's fine.
I looked into the barn and just that. And then
Well, it's not very
all the way
lucky,
down.
but. Well, no, I mean,
No, like,
they won't be
Yeah,
gone,
we're
but it's
kidding.
gonna be
You
a farm
keep
cut more.
This is the bottom of that's what you're looking
No,
at.
Oh,
Zane,
yeah.
Nothing on
let's
this.
say, yeah, Zane's only.
Wait, what if we fix, so like fix the same
Zane's
house?
67.
What?
Okay, never mind.
What if we
I
keep the
thought
same
Zane was
house?
way younger.
yeah, you
That's fine,
probably
doesn't
told your dad.
Yeah,
I'm getting it twice.
Hey, this is raining. You guys are just looking at the same home that can happen.
I'm getting it twice.
Hopefully that doesn't happen when you're actually trying to buy the home because then the price goes up.
He's
Oh.
only got
That's what he said.
high blood
It's
pressure.
fine.
Alright.
I can see
I want this house. Oh,
Okay, hey, here's what I'd like you to do next. I know a lot of you are looking at your home. This is the next thing you have to calculate. This is where you're gonna need your calculator now, and you're gonna type this on your Google Doc. This is probably the hardest part. You should have this stuff written down in the Google Doc, like what you're making per year times 2.5 to know what your price of your house. This is the house, this is the number you're using to find that house in that price range. You have all your stuff typed in, or maybe you took a screenshot and you put that on there. But I need you to see the address and where your house is. I don't need to see the picture of the house, but I need to see the address where it's at and what the price is. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna calculate now. So I'm gonna get rid of this.
325,000.
Alright, let's get rid of this.
You got any farm for sale in here?
No, not really. Kind of sounds
Like if you
If I wanted to
said
buy a
that you
farm,
work
where do
here,
I go?
would that be weird?
Yeah, it does.
Look for an old farm.
Some people like to do that. They like to travel because they bought a nice home in an area that was cheap.
Dial.
They can travel to work and save all their money. Alright, now, what I'd like you to do next. So, Ms. Linscomb, can you the lights, please? Thank you very much. Alright, so what we're gonna do next is to calculate what your house payment would be. So this is that big crazy formula that I gave you yesterday. So this is the formula you should have, type this out on your Google Doc. Now, how you do that whole RT, R over N, just put the backslash, R backslash N. And then for the NT and that little power, you use a little caret. The caret key is that shift 6, or it's that little up arrow key. And then type in NT. So it should probably look like this when you're typing it out. R backslash N, you have a little caret, NT, that type of thing. Caret's the shift 6. That's how you want to type it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to plug in your numbers into this formula. Okay? So, this is the part that you need to kind of pay attention because I'm going to give you just a default one. Let's say that everyone in the room is kind of buying their first home, so your credit isn't great, but it's not bad. I'm going to give you a credit rating of 5.5%. That's not good, it's not bad. So 5.5. So here's what you're going to do. Whatever your price of your house is right now, that goes here for the P. So mine is 105,000. Yep, 105,000. So maybe your house is 20 grand. Maybe it's 170 grand.
Wait,
I have no idea what type of
That's
house.
what you can afford.
What? Yeah, it's what you can afford. It's that house you were just looking at. It's what you can afford. It's got to be within this budget. If that price is like way out of your budget, you shouldn't be looking at it. Like right now, like this isn't mine. I typed in my teacher salary so I could afford about a $112,000 home. So if my banker's thing said 80, I shouldn't be looking at a $100,000 home. They're not going to approve it. But 105, you're going to go 1 plus. Now the rate we're all going to use is 0.05. That's the rate we're using. 55, I should say 5.5%. 0.055 we're gonna divide by 12, because they're gonna charge you an interest of 12 times a year. And then a little caret, 12, and we're going for a 30-year loan. And this is the stuff we're gonna type in my calculator. So you're gonna have to use a calculator in front of you. If you need to go grab one, go grab a calculator. I know some of you have a calculator on your Chromebook, but it's not gonna guarantee to have all the scientific keys. Unless you go to the Google
I'm just gonna
calculator.
build a house because I want my house to be.
I agree with that. That saves you money, by the way.
Yeah, I know, and I
In the long run, it does. Unless you gotta put in a well and stuff, that costs some money.
10,000 for a new wall, it's not completely worth it.
No. I'd go geothermal too if I was doing that.
That's not bad. Okay, you know me, so I didn't exactly where you did.
Okay,
I got a really weird number.
okay, good to see.
I got this.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I did add that as well.
Put both of these numbers in parentheses.
See, I
The 12 and the 30. Forget the parentheses before the 12. That'll cause
North
some major
Shore
X 12 times 30.
Drive.
Close parentheses. Yeah. Hey, this is a really good thing to note. If you're typing this in your calculator, hey, here's the thing. This is just a subtle thing. Katie found it out really quick. If you're typing this in a calculator, you better type it like this. The 12 and the 30 have to be in a parentheses together after the little caret symbol. Because if you don't put it in the caret, your number will be astronomically big. Okay? So if I'm doing this piece by piece, just to show you how I would do this to guarantee you're getting the right number, I'm going to take the 0.055, 0.055 divide by 12 first on the calculator. That's 0.00458. 3 is repeating. I'm going to add that to the number 1,
Did you get this one?
and then I'm going to put it to the 360th power, because 12 times 30 is 360. Okay, what that will do, this will be like 1.004583 to the 360th power. So caret 360. If you want to type in 360 instead of 12 times 30.
Oh, ooh.
So 1.004583 all to the 360th power. This turns out to be 5 for me. When I put that number to this number to the 360th power, then I'm gonna take it times by 105,000.
So we'll all get that 500.
Yeah, you should all get that number. This number should be what everyone's getting in the back on their calculator. But then we're gonna take it times whatever your price is. So why we're doing that? Your price of your house is basically 5 times higher because of that interest rate. So what I'm actually gonna pay, the number that my calculator is actually telling me, is that my house in 30 years total, paying this off, because we did a 30-year loan, that's where that 30 came from, the time is 30, is actually gonna cost me this. Now your number will be different than mine, obviously, but this is what my house is gonna cost. It's gonna cost me $544 grand over 30 years. And you're thinking, Ward, you took a loan for 105, yeah, because you're making monthly payments for 30 years. You're paying more money to the bank than the house costs.
So take like.
Mr. Ward.
Yes.
Mine is over. Yeah, mine's over the whole area.
Overflow rate. I see.
I don't know, I don't think you have to do it
Okay.
final today.
What's that number?
We did it fitness test.
Mr. Ward, I need
Or you
help.
got
It was supposed to be
Oh, wait,
that
no,
number,
no.
let's see,
Or 280.
to the 360th. You just typed in
That's
2879.
what I got like this.
No. This number to the 360th power, which is 5 something, and then times this number.
See, mine just did again. How many times will I do that?
We're gonna start off with.
You don't need, we already put this to delete that.
No, that's over, like over 30 years, that's how much you'll end up paying.
So we already put it to 30. That's why the 5 is no longer 300.
Yeah, mine's
Do you want us to share this with you?
Like this.
I just typed this out, like I put my numbers.
That's how much.
Okay, then.
I don't like
Take this
I don't like the price of
time.
spending.
Yeah, that's
Sorry, what's your number? That looks like it's in millions. What's the number you typed up front? What kind of house are you buying?
Well, you told me to put this number.
not bad. I just bought it.
Yeah.
And then.
So the 360 power,
Wait, is this yeah, over this.
which is
light?
5.1, yeah, which is 5.18, and then you take that 5.18, the number I have written on the board times your price.
Oh, you just take a screenshot of that?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you gotta take a screenshot.
No, you don't have to. I just.
I mean, that's what you make over, then you gotta go.
You some have his little, this key,
Yeah, just.
that, and now type your prices.
Mine's different.
And hit enter. Boom, 5.1,
So I take that, you take the price of the
times
house.
105,
and
or times whatever your price is for your house.
So like for 130.
That's the house.
Seven-
And then
720,000.
you put parentheses, five,
What do I do?
goes 5.18.
Oh, okay, so, now hey, we're not done yet.
That's 5.18.
Okay, I know this is the tough part. I did all the work for you here if you're paying attention. If you heard Dyer, even said it, like, Ward, all of our numbers should be this number, yeah. Because everyone has the same interest, everyone has the same months, so this is the number you should be writing down, times your price of the home that they had on that website. So if you didn't multiply these, I don't know where your numbers are, okay? So double check that that's what your number is. Okay, you're taking that number right there, the 5.18, because everyone should be using that number, times 105. Once you have that, it should be a big price. I don't know what your price is, but it's gonna be bigger than what your house said it was supposed to be. Okay, once you're there,
Unless you were just an insane.
here's what I want you to do.
Like a UPS.
Hey, this is the last part you have to do on your paper. Divide by 30 years. That number divide by 30, and when you have that answer, divide by 12. And this is what your monthly payment's gonna be. And that's the number I want you to also write down on your Google Doc.
Minus 3?
No, you're gonna divide by 30, and then divide that number by 12. And whatever that is, that's your monthly payment. It's big, because I'm doing a $544,000 home, I'm dividing by 30, dividing by 12, I'm making a $1,500 payment over 30 years.
So when we learn that, we share it.
Yep. Share that with me today, please. Share that with me today before you're done today. Okay, do not wait. Share it with me so I can give you credit for it today. Okay, make sure you have all those things on there. If you haven't, take a picture of it right now before you walk out. Make sure you know what you're
What
supposed
do
to
you
be
want a
doing.
screenshot of?
The only time you need a screenshot if you didn't type out where your house is from or the price was. If you typed down all that stuff, you're good. Some people are just taking a screenshot and that's what they're dumping on that file.
Hey, well, I have a question for you.
Sorry.
Your monthly payment had to be like $2,300 or something.
That's 2,000 even.
Yeah, that's
So this is like a personal question. If I was on this truck,
Okay.
what should I ask for that?
10 grand. Go to NADA and check what that truck's worth. Does he have a mileage on it?
Yeah, 180.
He might be involved. Let me research today. Hey, send me that picture today,
Okay, I'll send you.
and then I'll get it back to you.
All right, thanks.
Yep.